It is 9:30 on a Thursday night, and you are tuned into Beltway Radio and Beyond, which can mean one and only thing. This is Chip Chat. Welcome to Chip Chat, everybody. I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez?
You just told him, buddy.
Oh man, we're back. It's been a whole week. Yeah, we're jamming now.
Jamming. There we go.
It has been all right, I'm just going to say a thing where I'm going to read you the thing. I wrote a thing.
Okay.
So this is a special edition of Chip Chat.
Every week.
Yep. This week it's because we have a guest. Alec Berry's here. He's going to talk about his Pi Day shows, which is going to be cool. And of course it's a special edition because just like when this show started, which we might have some clips about later, I don't know. The U.S. is in a protracted war in the Middle East. Hooray! Started by people who could mostly not find the countries involved on this on a color-coded map. Similar. If you're confused and worried, don't ask us to help. That is not what we're here to do.
Yeah.
We are not here to help. We are here to make it worse. But if you want to try to ease your pain through laughter, we will also fail at that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I'm feeling about all of this. We do have other funny things, right? Like Trump's court failures continue to mount, and then there's Kristi Noem's Dog and Pony Show. And we wrote this show before today happened.
Right. Lots of things have happened today.
A lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, there are updates to stories in this show that have broken in the last several hours.
I'm just peeking because I saw one earlier and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Be added to the show as I'm looking. Yeah. Our good friend Lindsay had a good update. Halligan.
That didn't even crack my.
I didn't even get into it exactly, but I'm saying for things we've talked about on this.
I'm going to need you to catch us up on that when we get a chance.
I'll give that one there.
Like Tony Gonzalez was going to be in the show, not in the show, should be in the show. Now that's all shifting. Not that Tony Gonzalez.
I
feel like
we always
every
have
time
to
we talk about
that. Yeah, because even when my mind went to immediately when we talked about it last week, and I was like, "Oh, wait, hold on, no. Oh, this stuff. What did he do?"
Tony Gonzalez.
Congressman, what did he do?
Not tight end Tony Gonzalez, although it turns out that this Congressman Tony Gonzalez quite into the tight ends.
There you go.
Yep. I don't know what to say.
It's a lot. I have a nice, you know what that is exactly. A nice hop slam.
I do not, but I do have my one pack that I managed to scrounge up.
There you go. I've been very judicious on how I've consumed these, but right now, the test will be when I finish this somewhere in the halfway point of the show. Do I go from saying Iran to Iran?
Like way back in the early 2000s. I saw some stand-up comedian and he had some joke about like he threw a rock, I ran. And it was
so dumb.
I can never get that out of my head, especially because so many of the spokespeople, I don't know what to call them, the Mark Waynes keep confusing the word Iran and Iraq.
Yes.
And which are very different things.
Yeah.
And Chuck Schumer can't somehow stop confusing those words with Israel. So I don't know.
That's funny, actually.
I don't know why this isn't good.
No, it's not. I'm laughing. This is terrible.
As the Mark Wayne says, he did a misspoke.
Man, that guy. I can't share. There's an off-air story I'll share. I don't know if have I shared that story, my Mark Wayne story with you?
Were you with him in Afghanistan?
No. I'll talk
or
with
at an MMA event,
No.
or the plumber company that
Oh yeah.
he's a plumber.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm a plumber. That's cool, but he's It's a lot, man. It's a lot. So, do you have a word?
I do have a word.
Okay. You know what? I had a word. I was thinking about it, and now it feels somehow inappropriate. But you know what? No, I think that's the name of the show, isn't it?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. I got a word. I'm ready.
Right.
So sit back, grab some
drones.
It's puppy time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Street. All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
All right, so we're going to do the headlines. Now, I want to be very clear about this. Most of this was written yesterday.
Yeah.
By our crack reporting team who writes these things. These are true stories that are real headlines that we found. I also want to point out that the very first one was written a couple of days ago. So that's just Tez gets the honors as per usual, but we just want to put that out there that this one existed ahead of time.
I was like, do I get the honors to receive the ball and defer to the second half? But it doesn't matter. So
I was thinking golf, but sure.
Yes. Shall we begin?
I carefully. Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Woof. DHS wench Kristi Noem testified on the Hill this week in front of the Dogs and Cats subcommittee. There were no survivors.
The woof really helped there. What does Kristi Noem's puppy have in common with her career? They're both dead.
Trump fired Kristi because she claimed that Trump approved of her stealing the $143 million that were spent on her ad campaign. Congress found out about the scheme because she hid it about as well as she hides her hair extensions.
Yes. Trump's mad he didn't get his cut. Noem is being replaced at DHS by Oklahoma Senator and man with two first names, Markwayne Mullin. You may remember Markwayne from when he went missing in Afghanistan after the failed pullout. Incidentally, the failed pullout was what incidentally, it was after the failed pullout that his parents named him Markwayne. There you go.
Yikes.
That was a
Markwayne. DHS deadbeat boyfriend Corey Lewandowski has to make a hard decision to leave with Kristi Noem or begin having sex with Markwayne Mullin to keep his current job. That's insane. Read through this.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Kristi Noem was in charge of DHS for about 14 months, or roughly the lifespan of one of her puppies.
14 puppies. Sorry. I am only halfway through this fucking nonsense. Marco Rubio said the quiet part out loud when he admitted that Israeli forces forced the U.S. attack in Iran, and that Israel made him drink from that tiny water bottle in 2013.
Yes. Oh man. Back at the White House, John Bolton said he accepted Trump's war with Iran and that they would be getting back together in time for prom.
A little rhyme there.
Yeah. kiss and make up.
Right. While discussing war casualties at a press conference, Trump took time out to do a 5-minute set on the drapes in the room, and nobody shouted out the 25th Amendment, but some of them thought it really loudly.
Yes.
He did this again. Did he get this? I missed this one. Did he go like when he walked to the window in the middle of that?
No, he was talking
What was this
about
one like? I missed this one.
somebody, that people had died in the war, and that this was a really terrible thing, and that he was going to be solving everything from the White House. And then he just started talking about the drapes. He's like, the White House, we're adding on to it, and if you look out this window, you'd see a very deep hole, much like my poll numbers, or something like that. And then he started going on and on about the drapes and how he liked them, and that he put them in his first term, and that they're gold, and that maybe he wouldn't put a door there at all and just keep the drapes and save money. He went on for a long time about the drapes.
Anybody who is actively around like the elderly, this is not uncommon. Like,
no,
it isn't. But the problem is that the people I'm around are not the president of the United States.
That's right. We specifically take their driver's licenses away.
Yeah.
Don't give them the nuclear codes. All right, Grandpa, enough about the drapes. Now here's your nuclear codes, and go call somebody and start a war. No.
What if we actually need them?
Well, then we'd have to go get the real ones. Like, we definitely didn't give him. Nobody gave him the real ones. He's looking at him going like, oh yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like on my luggage, and then
1.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Admin. All right. As the war began, military genius and Secretary of Gin and Tonic Pete Hegseth forgot to tell Kuwait, and the Kuwaitis shot down 3 of our F-15s.
Friendly fire.
It's true. There's not that many F-15s. I want to be clear about that. There's a few hundred of them, so 3 is a lot.
Yeah. When Trump heard that Kuwait had shot 3 of our Strike Eagles, Trump accused them of cheating and banned them from his golf courses.
Yep. German Chancellor Freddie Merz came by Washington and spoke critically of the choice to go to war in what many observers called a classic bit of German military restraint.
Back stateside, new work requirements went into effect for food stamp benefits, meaning that fired DH spokes wench Trisha McLaughlin no longer qualifies. Christ.
And apparently neither does Christy.
Jesus.
Oh, she can't even get food stamps. Ah, man. An incident on the Beltway resulted in several people being stabbed, and the police responded by shooting the aggressor in what was likely a case of serious road rage, or as Laura Loomer tweeted, Muslims.
Oh, God.
That's true. I didn't write any of that. The thing happened, and then she blamed it on Muslims out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean,
as you do.
It's clearly just driving in that area. The person went mad.
Yeah, anybody who lives around here and has
everyone's that close. Everyone's that close.
We're all this close to just jumping out and stabbing somebody.
Right. I heard a dog. Never mind. Never mind. Fairfax County closed schools for rain this week. Next week's temps are expected to be in the mid-70s, meaning Fairfax schools will then be closed for excessive nice weather. I mean, you should have a break for nice weather.
That is a real thing that happened to me.
I mean, yeah, as parents, it's infuriating.
They put a 2-hour delay on Monday.
Rain.
For rain. Congressman Dan Crenshaw lost a primary to a challenger to his right. He never saw it coming. You have to know who that is for that joke to work. But trust me, it's a yar of a good time.
Ken Paxton is once again in a runoff. Though this time it's not on his wife.
Yes. Old Kenny Paxton.
Oh, gosh.
The D.C. area saw a tiny amount of snow, or what DJ TJ refers to as breakfast. And if you notice that was another Donald Jr. cocaine joke, congrats. It's become a bit of a habit now.
Oh, my God. Somehow you get these always, too. I don't know if I've ever had one, but there's been a decent amount of them. The Senate tried to enforce their constitutional powers, but Trump grabbed them by the pussy anyway.
That's right. The House tried today. They didn't succeed either.
Yeah.
Okay. This is also true. So okay. Hillary Clinton was deposed last week, and Brian's girlfriend, Lauren Boebert, used her time to ask Hillary Rodham Clinton about Pizzagate. Of course, the Pizzagate is the entrance Trump makes J.D. Vance use when he comes to the White House. If you haven't seen that clip where she does ask her that, the face that Hillary makes when Boebert goes down that road is priceless. So I highly encourage you to Google that clip.
All right, here we go. Marketplace news. The Dow fell below 50K this week, which would explain why Legal Barbie got a subpoena. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
A subpoena is what Pam Bondi calls a lousy date in bed.
That
was dumb. A subpoena.
That's so friggin' dumb. Angry McBleach job could find herself in trouble if she comes back to Congress, where Democrats had a new sound-activated taser built into the witness chair.
Yes. If you shout too loudly, it zaps you. Also,
that's kind of like what happens to dogs.
A little bit, yeah. When they bark too much.
Yeah.
Also, don't watch the video of Senator Sheehy forcing a Marine out of the hearing chamber.
Yeah, I haven't watched the video. I've only seen.
Don't.
I just see him hanging onto the door. I feel like is what I.
Yeah, Senator Sheehy broke the man's arm, like Heisman or Theismann kind of break. Yeah, it's awful. Don't. I regret having seen it. Don't.
Nope. Good on that.
Don't look at that.
Good on that.
Yeah. So those are the headlines. Also in the news, friend of the show, Richard Ojeda, won his primary in North Carolina, where he is running for, I believe, top chef.
Something. Top chef.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll eat Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, him. That's right. I really hope that clip doesn't sink him. It would be terrible if that's how we got famous. He's such a good guy. We didn't just passionate. Okay. What'd you think of the headlines, Tez?
I mean, yeah, there's a few doozies in there. Yeah. You know. I don't know. I don't feel good after what was just spewed. I don't know if I feel good. You know, it's just
it's funny and ick at the same time. Yeah. You feel the ick?
The ick is there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ick is definitely there. And then during this filibustering, I couldn't think of a good dog joke.
No. He couldn't seem to call one up. Yeah.
No.
Oh, well. Well, I hear a whistle somewhere, which means we need to take a break. So what we're going to do is take
a break. Shout.
We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to our guest and see how that goes. So you're listening.
Let me take a sip of this hop slam. Keep going
right.
down
you're
this
listening
road.
to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Like corn on the cob.
Through the wall with your reasons is guns. Trying mine to define the breath.
welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
All right, we're going to explain what that just was. First, let's introduce our guest. Alec started out in the local music scene, mostly taking photos and wearing the shirt of the band that he wasn't about to go see, but quickly moved into putting on shows and festivals all over the DC area, and now brings his local music fandom to the masses in a new event on Pi Day, which is coming up. Alec, welcome back to Chip Chat.
Thanks. Good to be here.
All right, so what was that we were just listening to?
I believe that was JJX.
There you go.
And the JJX band will be at a free show at the Pie Shop on Pi Day, March 14th. It's a matinee show. Get there at 1 o'clock. There's pie specials and free music upstairs with 3 bands.
There you go. See? And so you heard it here first if you're not already in the know. And the Pi Day this year is on a Saturday.
Yes.
So there's no excuse.
A matinee on a Tuesday is a little difficult to pull off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to make it because I have a wedding I have to do. So we'll see how
You're
long.
lost.
Yeah. Well, I got booked.
The gain for the people who I know. Let's fuck with you.
How long is so the show starts at what time?
The music starts at 1:30 and should be over by 4.
Okay. Gosh, my wedding's at 3.
Wow.
Terrible planning. Let me see if I can convince these people not to get married.
Switch, yeah, exactly. We can switch.
Or ask them if they like pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be an option.
Good suggestion.
They were shooting for Arlington, and I could just be like, guys, hop across the bridge, get some pie,
Right.
go to a rock show. Cool place to get married.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So besides JJX, who is going to be at this show?
The opener is Iosel. They are a fairly new band. They played one of my shows last year at Backyard Grill in Chantilly. And I think this is going to be their 4th show ever.
Wow.
Or maybe 5th. Small numbers confuse me. And the headliner is Careless Flight, who I've been trying to get on one of my shows for a while, so I'm really looking forward to this. The lead singer and guitar player, Doug, has done a solo opening act at some of my shows before, and their brand new bass player, Debbie, used to play with a band called The Kerosene and had been on a couple of my shows pre-COVID. Actually did one of my punk rock parking lot shows at Epicure Cafe in Fairfax when I was just getting that off the ground during COVID.
Very cool. Very cool. It's kind of funny how in the music scene anyway, you get a lot of cross-pollination where people play, oh, I'm in this band, but I also do this on the side, or then I'm I was in this band and then I got asked to help out with this, and then that project turned into this. Do you find that makes it easier to book bands because everybody knows each other and stuff and they can kind of work together on that? Or does it just become a very difficult to keep track of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon game?
Well, I try to keep track of it because sometimes a band will break up and some of the members of the band go and form another band and the other members form another band. And I do kind of keep track of that because I don't want to 2 years later try to put together a show with both of those bands unless I've talked to them first and everyone goes, oh yeah, we're all cool.
Right.
So yeah, I do keep track of that. One thing that along those lines, one of the things I love is when I put together a show of bands that have never even heard of each other before. And then 2 months later, I noticed that those 2 bands are doing another show in Baltimore or something like that. And that is a, I mean, they're not doing it in order to compliment me, but I take it as a compliment anyway.
For sure. Do you ever play like band matchmaker? Like you'll hear that somebody say needs a bass player, and you're like, "Hey, I know a guy who just broke up with his band. Maybe he's available."
That I get those questions all the time, and I do the best I can to kind of, help out. I have not kept track of how often that has led to a band matrimony, if you will.
Yeah,
It has happened. I just haven't kept track of it.
it's got to be pretty tough too, because like people might do play on one song on a record and then like not on the shows, or like, I feel like also you're often working across many genres of music or subgenres within, like the DC punk scene has always been very strong, right? But you don't only do punk shows. So how does that work into that?
Well, when I started Punk Rock Parking Lot, I didn't call it Punk Rock Parking Lot.
Right.
And this was during COVID. And, people couldn't do shows because unless they were outdoors. I started to get contacts from bands up and down the East Coast.
Right. Because it was the only
Because
place
it was, oh my God, music we can play.
Right.
With people saying, basically saying, we'd be perfect for your show. And, it was an acoustic folk trio. I'm like, well, I don't think that's exactly what we want, what we're looking for. So I started calling it Punk Rock Parking Lot. And hope my thought was that will cut down on the acoustic folk trios and the country music bands and so forth. It did not.
Right.
But I've stuck with that name because the term punk rock is a wide enough term that I can include everything from some harder edged folk rock bands to Afro punk and go-go. All kind of fits in there, kinda. If you're coming to a show called Punk Rock Parking Lot, you're not going to be disappointed.
I feel like also, at least in my experience, growing up with that not to be too proud of ourselves, but the punk kids tend to be interested in listening to music of all types. They're not very exclusive. They're not like, oh no, I don't listen to. They're always like, yes, I will listen to.
And I take advantage of that to a certain degree. Again, if you come to one of the shows that I put together called Punk Rock Parking Lot, you might not think every single band qualifies as punk, but you're going to listen to them and go, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, this is good. I mean, it might be metal, it might be grunge. There's so many different labels that you can assign to every genre, person, instrument, venue, so on and so on and so on. So punk sort of encompasses a kind of a wide net, and I take advantage of that.
Alec, you just mentioned venue there, and I know on our show we talk a lot about like what the infrastructure for just the arts in general looks like in this area. And like the Pie Shop, I mean, I was always very impressed with their outfit of like just actually producing a show. I guess, what are the other venues in the area that people should really be checking out because they're able to kind of actually put on really good shows?
Okay, I'm going to try to answer this question, realizing that I'm going to get in trouble.
All right. I don't
because I cannot tell you every single venue.
Right.
You're gonna miss something, okay?
I
don't hear your
name.
It's not intentional. We just can't remember everything.
Okay, just so everyone knows. So I'm going to start with the venues that I've done shows at. Right. I love the Pie Shop. And I've done a lot of shows there. I'm very, very proud to have some kind of loose affiliation with them. And I consider it to be one of the best venues I've ever been to. It's absolutely fantastic. And I have done a couple shows at Comet Ping Pong. Love that place. Love the pizza.
Yeah.
Don't go to the basement though.
Shut up. There's no basement.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Wow. That entered back into the news. I can't believe it.
Crazy.
But I've done some shows at DC Brow.
Okay.
It was great. We did a show where the bands played on the loading dock.
That's cool.
Facing the parking lot. So it was a punk rock parking lot. And I've done some shows at places that sadly are no longer with us. Velvet Lounge,
Oh,
Slash
man.
Run, The Runaway, Rock and Roll Hotel, but those are all not with us. Don't
Yeah.
go there.
Oh,
Don't bother them. They're not.
Is
They're
the
not there.
Pinch still operating?
The Pinch is not still operating, but across the street from the Pinch is a place called the Artemis.
Yes.
And I did do a show last year at the Artemis, it's really nice, good food.
Yeah.
It's not a very big venue, but it is nice to be able to go someplace where you can actually drink and eat. I like to try to eat when I go out to see a show, just to give the venue more encouragement to continue to have live music, because they're making a little bit of money that way. I encourage everyone else to as well. Did I mention the pie shop has pie?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I mentioned.
You might
that.
want to
Okay.
clarify that, because people might be thinking like, oh, it's a pizza. No, it's pie.
No, pie. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
Many late
I've
nights
recently done some shows at a place called Backyard Grill in Chantilly, Virginia. Also has surprisingly good food. It's a sports bar, but it's got pretty good food. I've done some shows at Clear Skies Meadery in Rockville,
Oh yeah.
which serves mead, not meat, mead.
Yes.
And often they will get a food truck. They don't serve food normally, but they will get a food truck to park in their parking lot, and then you can eat, drink, and watch music. So that works out pretty well. There's also a place in Burtonsville called the Iris Garden Bar. It shares a parking lot with where the Blue Beetle Rock Bar used to be, if anyone's heard of the Blue Beetle
yeah.
Rock Bar. And done a couple shows there. Great food. And they have live music all the time. Let's see, I've done some shows at a place called Fats in Fairfax.
One of my favorites.
It's across the street from George Mason University.
Yeah, it's down around the back of the
Yes,
little
exactly.
university mall there.
Yeah,
It's, That was the first place I saw Phthalo Blue. If you can count back a billion years ago.
Yeah, and when I had them on a show, I think it was last year. I started thinking, wow, does Phthalo Blue want to play here? And then I realized, oh, they played here before. So yes, they'll play here.
Yeah.
So that place is nice. There's a new or fairly new music school out in Chantilly called the Vanguard Art Center. It was opened by Ben Tufts. I don't know if you've heard that name before. He's an infamous DC musician, and now runs the Vanguard Art Center. I did a couple of shows there, and I've got one coming up April 25th. All the punk rock parking lot shows are free. Most of them are all ages, not all of them, but most of them. So try to make it as inclusive as possible every way that you can. But other venues in DC, I did a punk rock parking lot at Songbird, which is a great venue.
Sure.
And big wide stage. And they get some pretty good national and international touring acts go through there, as well as DC9.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Now I've never done a show at
DC9,
DC9, but I want to. What's that?
You got to do stuff there, man. DC9 is like the
good.
spot.
Yeah.
DC9's great.
Yeah.
And it's right near the 930 Club in Atlantis, and the Howard Theater. So off the top of my head, those are the venues I can. Union Stage, of course, is great. I did an event there. I can't even remember when. It was 2017, I think, or 2018, a long time ago, with Phthalo Blue.
Yeah.
And that was a great show. I've done, and then there's Pearl Street Warehouse, which is right around the corner from it. And then in Virginia, there's Jam and Java, of course.
I was gonna say, you did a bunch of the shows in the parking lot of Jam and Java, right? That was
No, those were not my shows.
Oh, okay.
They were all very good shows, and I am honored that people think that I had anything to do with them, but I did not.
You took a bunch of photos at a bunch of them, right?
I did. I did.
Yeah.
I was doing shows in the parking lot of Epicure Cafe
Right. There you go.
in Fairfax, which closed and is now sort of has the same thing in Old Town Alexandria.
Okay.
And speaking of Old Town Alexandria, I've done some shows at Galactic Panther and O'Shaughnessy's.
The last time I saw you, it's from
That's
what
right.
I can
That's
remember.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
O'Shaughnessy's is great because they've got a deli built in and that's open till 1.
Yep. And
Can't
it
beat
is
that.
it is the most legitimately dive bar left in Old Town.
I would be concerned if somebody described them as something other than a dive bar.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Even
it's
the
great.
renovations upstairs are sort of barely renovations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be a smoking place
Yeah,
where
remember.
everyone in the tri-state area would come to smoke all at the same time. And then they stopped that last year. And it is now you have to go outside to smoke.
I think for a while they made it so like the upstairs was no smoking and the downstairs was smoking, and then that was
Yeah, I don't think that worked.
that didn't work. Not
yeah.
at all. I
Yeah, it's
remember
kind of
coming
like-
home from that place smelling like, I had
Right.
to bathe in Febreze just to get back in my house.
Yeah. I couldn't get the smell out of my hair, and I don't have hair.
All right. So, Alec, we have to ask you some important questions too.
Please.
How are you going to use these rock shows to end the new war in Iran?
Well, that's a really good question. Because at first I thought it was a war in Iraq. I get confused. Iran, Iraq, but
it's not a war, I heard.
Oh, that's right. It is not a war. It is a special military operation.
Or a series of strategic targeted actions. I believe there's been a
Right.
bunch of names.
Right.
But that guy that thinks he's president keeps calling it a war.
Yeah, I'm having difficulty following that, to be honest with you. But
All right, so how's punk rock going to solve the military crisis in the Middle East?
I haven't figured that one out yet. I got to be honest with you. I'm going to have my staff look into that and get back.
There
to
we
you.
go.
There you go.
I saw that on TV.
The answer to that is we have to resurrect Joe Strummer and then have the Clash rock the Casbah until they cool the fuck out for a little while.
Right.
Yeah, that's my
point. Right.
All right. So, yeah, I do have another question. This is a little inside baseball, but let's
okay.
We'll sort of stipulate for the listeners at home that you and I, apart from being music fans, we have something else in common.
Fear of hats.
No, I have no fear of hats. It's not my problem. But it does involve hats, little tiny ones that we put on our head sometimes.
Oh, the beanies.
Yes, tribal affiliation, I think, is what
indeed.
I was
Yes,
going for.
Yes,
So,
I usually print my name with 3 sets of parentheses around it, just
in case, right?
Just in case, just make sure everybody's on the same page. Yeah.
Yes, that's them hugging us. They love to hug us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, as a member of the tribe, how do you feel about and he's still technically called Secretary of Defense, although he calls himself the SOW. How do you feel about the SOW trying to use this war and our people to kickstart the end times?
Well, first off, it's Secretary of Defense because only Congress can change the name, and Congress has not changed the name. He can call himself
his new pronoun.
He can call himself the Grand Wizard if he. Oh, okay, slip of the tongue there. He can call himself anything he wants to, and it doesn't mean that's what it is. But
does he have to use the Secretary of Defense bathroom still, or can he use whatever bathroom he wants?
Well, that's under discussion, isn't it now? He appears to be and I don't want to. I'm going to say allegedly, so I don't get myself or you in trouble.
Sure.
Allegedly a white Christian nationalist. He's got the tats to go along with that. Yeah. And reports are that the higher ups in the military are actually using the Book of Revelations as justification for this war. but I don't I don't buy it. And I don't. Have you had your turn yet with the secret space laser?
Yeah, so I have to keep refiling my application for my time on the space laser, and I
want my
haven't
time.
got it yet.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's busy now, right? It's shooting down like ballistic missiles and stuff, but
I thought it was drones in Texas.
yeah,
Right.
No,
Right.
that's
But that's not secret.
that's not secret. Okay.
Yeah. See, there's a whole there's a
that-
subtle
that-
there's a fine line
conversation just-
between stupid and clever. They say.
that conversation ballooned out of control.
Oh God.
Oh.
Yikes.
So-
Yikes.
But yeah, so like reports are that Keg Seth has been sending videos of his favorite preacher and stuff to the brass and telling them that they have to play this for their staffs and stuff, and some of them have been quite gung-ho about it and really excited. Pistol Pete is an adherent of a particular preacher who likes to. He had him at the Pentagon just a couple weeks
he was
ago.
just there.
Yeah, who says all kinds of incredible stuff about our people. And I'm asking this because, I've talked about it before, but like it feels weird to me to hear evangelicals explain what I'm supposed to be. That doesn't feel right. And also that their whole concept of like supporting Israel is based on this idea that they just need us all to show back up somehow, so they can force us to convert or die and thus make Jesus come back. I don't really know how.
Yeah,
Don't think too hard about it.
I do find it amusing when somebody tells me what the definition of me is.
Yeah, that's weird.
But
right?
I read this on Wikipedia or I saw this on a YouTube, and I know that you are that. No. So
Can I read a lovely headline that just came in 41 minutes ago?
sure.
Oh my God.
You guys are ahead of these here. Bigotry in GOP chat. After
No.
Miami-Dade Republican created a chat for college students, it devolved into slurs against Black and Jewish people.
I'm shocked.
It's surprising.
Shocked. Wait a minute here. Are you sure you're not just rereading those other stories about the young Republicans and their text messages?
So it's a new one. We have a
new one.
Because weren't those Republicans in New York? Those ones are in Long Island.
Well,
Where were
first
they
of all, JD Vance said they were just young boys being young boys
Yes,
in their 30s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Catholic response there.
Did you ever see the Chris Rock in one of his comedy shows about 10 years ago? He was making some observations about what happened at 9/11.
Yeah.
And it ended with a poignant commentary on blacks and Jews. And I'm not going to repeat it.
Right.
Because he used some foul language that I will not use. But Chris Rock, 9/11. Chris Rock, 9/11. It's on YouTube. It's phenomenal. I showed it to my mom. What?
Oh,
I hear it slapped.
oh my God.
I'm not proud of that. Yeah.
We gotta bring back the Grand
Yes,
Alliance.
you are very proud of that.
Yeah. So what is in this chat? And why us? What is the thing about our two groups that they're really into? That is that an ick? That's an ick too, right? I don't like
some type of ick, yeah.
I don't like how much attention they pay to me.
Well, we're other.
Yeah, but why? There's lots of others.
No. Not but that's it.
I know, but there's lots of others. What is the thing? What specifically about
they
us?
don't like the others either.
I know that, but they're not
got a
writing
Mexican
apparently
accent. They don't like you either.
No, but what was read the headline again?
Well, no, I would like not to. But
okay, so why us? What is in this? Do you want to read us some of their texts?
I don't know if I want to get into that necessarily. From FIU here, I don't know if to read any of their texts on him, but maybe I'll weave them in throughout the rest of the show.
Okay, if there's a bunch of text mentioning blacks and Jews, there's also a bunch of text mentioning Asians and Mexicans.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm just listen. If you want to text about blacks and Jews, there's lots of NBA group chats that you can get into, and then
it's
Yeah.
heavy populated, right, in all those group chats.
there's a thing we like to do together.
Yeah.
Basketball. Yeah.
Comedy.
Just saying. Yeah. Okay. That's ick.
Sorry.
Also, that's like the theme for tonight
Yeah.
of yeah. All right. I saw that Lindsey Halligan's about to get disbarred in Florida. Is that the story that you were going to tell us about?
Yes, that was what I was going to tell you about.
That's going to be interesting. All right. So, Alec, want to ask you two more real questions here. Is do you want to like stick around for the rest of the show and
Sure.
help us?
Be happy to.
Okay, good. So now you're part of this thing that is going to be the blacks and Jews together on
Grand Alliance. The Grand Alliance, baby. Bring it
They're
back.
so afraid. What are they going to do? Get together and create the Beastie Boys? Gonna be
That
so
already
mad.
happened.
Yeah, right. What's that Rick Rubin guy doing with those fellows from
With
Never
the
mind.
hats. It's
Yeah,
up with
why
the
do
other
they-
hat. No,
what are
there's
they
not
doing
no
with their
hats.
Adidas?
Right.
Why do they hang out together so much? All right. Yeah. So, and then the other question is, how can people get tickets, go to the shows, and all that stuff, and what's going up, and keep pace with all of your things that you're doing?
Almost all of the concerts that I put on are posted in the bio of my Instagram feed. They're usually listed on my website, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook. I try to keep all of that stuff up to date. I always start with Instagram. It seems to get the most attention. So that's the one that's always really, really current. But I
And
don't
what
make
is
a
the handle for people to follow?
Rocksplosion.
There you
You've
go.
got it on the
Connect.
screen right there. Just Rocksplosion. At Instagram, it comes right up.
Yeah. Now this is nominally a radio show, so some people do need it is Rocksplosion with an X because the X makes
Right.
it
ROX
edgy and cool.
explosion. It's
Yeah.
like explosion, but with RO instead of an E.
Don't let Hegseth hear that.
Let's see, the show at the Pie Shop, they would like people to RSVP. It's a free show, but they want people to RSVP. It helps them staff.
Right.
No, makes sense, yeah.
Other shows might be similar, depending on what the venue wants. And some shows I do are ticketed, in which case I put links to the tickets in my bio on Instagram.
There you go.
As well as if there's a Facebook event, it'll have a link to the ticket as well.
See, some people use social media for good things,
Yes.
Yeah.
not just firing secretaries and cabinet officials.
Right. And declaring war. I mean, military operations.
That's right. There we go. Okay. Don't get it confused, Alec. All
I
right.
guess- yeah.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about the not war and a bunch of other things that we need to explain because, there's a lot of things that we
Or
need to
you could
explain.
guess how many times the N-word was used in this. chat.
No. No.
Take a guess, everybody.
Wait, which N-word? Because, that guy says they don't let me say the N-word. I don't want to say the N-word. But I love the N-word.
That was crazy. I forgot that happened. That's
Yeah,
insane.
it's a fire hose of bad.
Oh
All right,
my
we're going to
God.
take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to ChipChat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
N-word.
And nigga who?
Pump my heart to the beat of a bass drum. Tripping over my tongue just a taste of. On a different wave in a different zone. Secret sex machine from the great unknown.
All right. Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What is popping, y'all?
And hanging out with us is Alec. Alec, who is that?
That was JJX again.
And where can people see them or go hear them play things live?
Well, if you were to show up at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, March 14th at the Pie Shop on H Street in DC, you can come in for free after getting some pie specials and check them out in 2 other bands.
There you go. So you can go to a Pie Day show on Pie Day at the Pie Shop. I hear it goes on forever. And, that sounds...
That's circular reasoning.
Oh,
There you go. There he is. There's
this
Alex
is
Wayne
radius,
there.
sir, not television.
Oh, this.
You took away my radius joke.
Yep. That's not good. Okay. What happened there? Is that my phone?
No, it's not me.
Is it Brian? Somebody's calling the show.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Patrick Washington, aka the Black Picasso of the Almighty Poem MC, saying congratulations to Brian, Tez, and Chip for 11 years of Chip Chat, man. And thanks for having me on so often. At this point, I feel like I'm like the 4th member, A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y. But for real, man, y'all have always been the smartest and the funniest dudes in the room. Don't stop. Keep pushing that needle, and we'll be listening.
Well,
What
that
is
was
this?
cool.
Is this a new type of segment? People just call in and try. That's new. Well, okay. Look at that.
We've been on for 11 years. Some people
Yeah.
felt that they wanted to say something about it. So that was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
No,
I didn't know we had a working phone line anymore.
Didn't know. There is going to be opening because I'll probably be off next week. Sorry.
We'll have to call Patrick back.
Call
Yeah.
Patrick back right now.
I'm going to
There's,
text him at the next break. Hey, Pat, are you free? Yeah.
This just in. I can't read anything from these text messages. Nothing. I can't make any of them funny. I just none. I can't weave them in. No, this is
They're worse than the book titles.
yeah.
Yeah.
I worked through it during the break. I was like, nope, won't contribute to that. Won't contribute to that.
All right, let's contribute to some other awfulness. Now, here's
There
the thing that we need to discuss.
The globe
right?
is the globe
Now,
coming up.
It's the
It's
globe, right?
time.
Now,
It's globe time.
the globe keeps making an appearance on this show, and never for a good reason. We're never let's take a look at this really cool place. No, we're
One day
always
it's gonna be
needing
like
to
this
experience
island was
something
washed out.
terrible.
Is that a globe or a globe?
No.
It's a woke globe. It has all
Okay.
of the countries on it. And
What's that Gulf say? What does that Gulf say in
it
what
says Gulf of Mexico in it. Well,
Okay.
this one says Persian Gulf right next to it.
No.
So you see this yellow guy there?
Yeah.
Yep. That one's Iran. To be very clear, it's not Iran.
Depends how many hot slams you've had.
Or Iran?
Iran. Yeah. It's called Iran. It's a very big country. Like, it's big. You see how big it is? It's not a little country. Look at Iraq right next to it, by the way. It's the little pink guy. All right, we spent a lot of time learning about that when we were. I can't get this to work. There you go.
There you go.
Look at the relative size difference between Iran and Iraq. And so that's one thing to know.
Country.
It's geographically huge. Okay.
Yeah.
And another
Huge.
thing is it has 92 million people.
A lot of people.
A fact that Tucker Carlson embarrassingly proved that Ted Cruz did not know. Just fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, other things to know about Iran. It's a theocracy, I think is the best way to describe their sort of system of government. It had a long-standing dictator arrangement, sort of monarch deal. He was a guy called a Shah. That title and arrangement really goes back several thousand years. They are the direct descendants of the Persian Empire, if you know from the 300 movies and all of this stuff. They are a people who have been a part of civilization since the beginning of civilization.
Yeah.
They have a wide ethnic makeup. You know, they're not just one group, right? There's a lot of different people. They border a lot of important countries that we have been dealing with over the years, including Iraq, but also like the Caucasus region, you know, up into that area. They have they used to be like the only place that grew pistachios for a long time, for example. So if you're a pistachio fan, that comes from Iran. They also border Pakistan. Big country. In 1979, they had a revolution. The Shah was overthrown. The Shah was supported by the United States and the CIA. He had been restored to power by the CIA in a bit of a, let's call it a coup. It was a coup. And so then the people revolted. They had a revolution. They installed a clerical, not like clerks, but like, you know, religious leaders as their system of government. And it's run by a group called ayatollahs. An ayatollah is like a high rank in the clergy within Shiite Islam. So you can think of it like bishops or something like that in a Christian context that you might understand. And so that's the thing right now. Since that time, they captured a bunch of Americans in the embassy in that revolution, and they have basically set up their whole system of government since then to blame any and all problems that they have internally on the Americans and the Israelis. And they have done a poor job of getting out from under that, and the Americans have done a poor job of convincing them to not get the fuck off. That's the deal, more or less. Back in 2015, which we talked about on this show, that guy who wore a tan suit, I think one time, was the least American thing any president had ever done. President Obama cut a deal with the Iranians on their nuclear program. The Iranians want to have nuclear weapons. The reason they want to have a nuclear weapon is because they keep getting attacked by, I don't know, the Americans and the Israelis and, you know, lots of other people. So they want to have like a deterrent. They also want to menace people and attack the Saudis, who they hate with a passion.
Yeah.
The Saudis also hate them
Yes.
with a passion. It's sort of like you can think of it like the Jets and the Patriots, right? Like the Jets hate the Patriots, but they can't do shit about it. And the Patriots are the Saudis in this example. They hate the Jets too, but they pay them very little attention. So that is the dynamic there. And then so the Iranians are always trying to get attention by causing problems. They do things like shut down the waterways or blow up oil refineries.
A lot of proxies as well.
Right. And so, and because they don't have nuclear weapons, their way of deterring everybody from going after them has been to build this network of proxies, which includes Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis in Yemen, and various organizations throughout the world, who they can activate on a dime or whatever they call. I don't know what their currency is called, but they can activate these proxy groups to do things like blow up schools and do terrorism in anywhere they want, including in Israel, which they have done for years. The Israelis shot and killed most, or blew up most of their guys in Lebanon, the Hezbollah guys. They hit them with pagers. You remember that story? Yep. Pagers and walkie-fucking-talkies. The wildest long play psychopath shit you could possibly imagine. The IDF created a fake supply chain of pagers that worked. Okay, they worked while carrying a bunch of explosives in them for years. Waited until they had an opportunity, clicked the button, blew up all these people that had the pagers. Then when those guys got together for the funerals for the guys who died for the pagers, and they didn't want to have cell phones, they used walkie-talkies. Guess what happened with the walkie-talkies? Boom! The Israelis blew that shit up too. That's like a deep play. Okay? Yeah. Wild shit. So these guys have been at it for a while, let's just say, right? And what we talked about last week was that Trump had moved a lot of U.S. hardware, a couple aircraft carriers, and a bunch of equipment into that region to threaten Iran, to try to get them to come to some sort of a deal. Why did he need to get to a deal on the nuclear program, Tez?
Oh, to what? Hide the Epstein files.
Yes, of course. Also because he tore up the original one.
Well, yes. Because
So
Hussein did it. No.
Yes, because Barack Hussein Obama did it. So because Obama made the deal, Trump tore it up and then he tried to basically recreate the same deal. And the Iranians wouldn't trust the Americans because they reneged on a deal and have always done that. So bad situation. Then all of a sudden over the weekend, it was on like Donkey Kong, man. And
it started really in spring training for me with injuries.
There you go. Started in spring training with injuries.
Okay.
It's accurate. It's accurate. Yep. So the planes hit the skies, the bombs hit the ground, and all the people hit the dead. And they killed the Israelis, and the American Air Force killed the Ayatollah, the one in charge, and all of his friends and all of the other friends that like raised their hands to say like we could help. So like if you are kind of in charge of anything in Iran right now, you are an actual target of supersonic jets flying over your head and dropping a bomb in your ear hole. They're using all of the cool planes, just to be airplane nerd about it, including the good old B-52s. They're out there doing the job. Hold on, let me see if I got my little, there we go. Little Stratofortress there. Yeah, love that. So that's all going on. Raining death from the sky, as the Americans are wont to do. Yeah. And the Israelis are helping. The Iranians have retaliated. They've got a bunch of drones that they've been selling mostly to the Russians. It turns out they work pretty good. They've also got ballistic missiles, which is one of the things that the Trump people said is the reason that they started the war. Those ballistic missiles are getting through. They are hitting places where there are American bases, which is every country around Iran. And they've killed people. And and there's some interceptors going on there, if you can see in the video. One of the things about modern warfare now is that it is fought at a tremendous distance with very few people involved. It's robot on robot, really, and it's drone on drone warfare. The Iranians have these drones called Shahed drones. They've been selling them to the Russians, like I mentioned. The Ukrainians have offered to sell the Americans their interceptor drones because they know that they work really well against these Shahed drones in exchange for more Patriot missile munitions. It's a crazy thing. It could take me another hour and a half to give you like any more details about it, but that's kind of where we're at. Here are some things that we know are going on. CENTCOM said late Tuesday night that Iran's air defenses and hundreds of ballistic missile targets, missile launchers had been targeted. The Americans have struck, the Americans and the Israelis have struck more than 2,000 targets in Iran. That was as of Tuesday. I'm sure it's 3,000 by now. Weirdly, the Iranians have like some third generation Russian fighter bombers and actual airplanes that they're using to try to attack stuff. And those got shot down like easily. I don't know why they would risk that. That just seems like, why send an airplane to do what you could do with a drone and not risk a pilot?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess they're just using anything they got. It's wicked bad. And the other thing to know is there doesn't seem to be any kind of plan here at all. There's 50,000 American troops, 200 fighter jets, and 2 aircraft carriers in the region. I'm sure there's going to be more soon. 200 fighters, by the way, it's mostly a bunch of F-35s, the F-15E Strike Eagles. Off the carriers, of course, they're flying the 35s and also the F-A-18 Super Hornets. It's a lot of juice, okay? They can hit a lot of stuff. These things are fast, they're agile, they're very powerful. The Israelis are flying F-22s, they're flying F-16s, and they're flying F-15s as well. So they got a lot of stuff, and they got F-35s.
Did you say the Israelis have a lot of juice?
Ah,
I didn't. I wasn't. Okay.
thank you.
I can't. Okay.
That's why you're here, Alec. So, yeah. Let's start with why. I mean, I've got how on the script, but let's go to why. Okay, what is the why is this happening, Tez?
I mean, from Donald Trump says that if they didn't attack first, then they would have been attacked. That's from what I.
That's
heard.
one of the things he said. What else has he said, Alec?
He said that Israel was already going to attack them, so
That's
we
right.
might as well.
Yeah, so he said that, Rubio said that the Israelis were about to attack. One of the things that you got to understand about Iran is that in their mind, there is no daylight between America and Israel. So if
Right.
the Israelis do something, they say the Americans and the Israelis or the Americans did this thing. So if the Israelis had bombed them, they would have shot at our bases regardless. Okay, so Rubio's right that if the Israelis are going to go, our stuff is immediately at risk. All of our people over there are immediately at risk. And so to some extent, though they don't want to admit it, or they did admit it and then they wanted to take it back, that the Israelis kind of forced the hand of the Americans, because if they were going to go, the Iranians were going to retaliate at the Americans, and we had to get up in the air and be ready for that. So that is one of the few true things here. It is very difficult to really understand what's real and what's not, because you've got three main belligerents in this contest, and none of them are honest brokers. You can't trust anything. The Iranians say they're going to lie through their teeth constantly. The Israelis are about as trustworthy as a screen door on a submarine. And the Americans are run by Trump and Hegseth, and these guys can't stop lying. So getting real information out of any of these places is difficult at best. I think your best bet is to be looking at legitimate media sources, but also, expand that a little bit. Start looking at Al Jazeera. Start looking at the stuff that's coming out of Oman. They've been kind of reporting a lot of this stuff. It's bad all the way around.
Yeah.
All the way around. So, yeah, that's some of the why. What are the other whys that they've thrown out there?
What else do we have in here? There was
Trump said that he maybe forced the Israelis' hand.
Yeah, his hands. Yeah, he flipped it because he got questioned in the when the question came up. He was like, obviously, no. Well, maybe I forced their hand.
Maybe I forced their hand.
Trump wants to handpick the next Iranian leader.
That's true. He's also
as well as the next Venezuelan leader and the next Cuban leader. But we're focusing on Iran right now. So
kinda. He also sent troops to Ecuador while all this was going on. Nobody's paying attention to that.
Yeah, well, they did sneak that headline in.
Yeah.
But they were invited.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
Trump wants to handpick the leaders. Although if you've seen Trump's hand recently, you probably don't want that anywhere near your government.
No.
So, he's also said that he was doing it to destroy their nuclear program that he claimed to have obliterated 6 months ago in the last attacks on Iran. He claimed
liberate the people, right? That was one.
He said he was protecting the protesters and liberating and giving them cover to go after their government, because they were people were out in the streets of Tehran, and the Iranian regime was massacring them by the thousands.
Yeah.
So, Trump played the whole, I care about human decency or whatever bullshit. He also claimed that it was to stop their ballistic missiles. He said they were going to attack first. He's mad at them for trying to assassinate him in the first term, or after his first term when he killed their top general. Then there are two people standing trial right now on murder for hire plots for trying to go kill Trump in retaliation. Like I said, the Iranians are not some little tiny country with no capability. Okay. They are a modern, sophisticated, capable country with a deep, deep intelligence system that works really well internally, and it does work pretty well externally. They have capabilities that, like, say, the Iraqis or the South Vietnamese or whatever never did. Okay. This isn't that. This is not us picking a fight with a totally wimpy enemy, right? These guys can do it. They can do bad stuff, and we should be very worried about that, especially those of us who live here in Washington, because we've got a big giant target, Pentagon-shaped target on us.
And anyone abroad, obviously, clearly, because you don't know where Americans are. Where
any American is at risk abroad, right? Because they're just going to grab a hostage in, like, Vienna or something, and be like, that's it, stop the war, I kill this American. And that can happen. Okay. The other thing to understand,
kill the American, I mean, to be
they'll
honest,
just kill them. Yeah, that might happen too. They've also got the ability to, like, attack without direction. Yes, they've got sleeper cells. Yes, they've got all of this other stuff, but they also are symbolic of a resistance, of an anti-American resistance around the world. There are people who will see this thing happening and retaliate of their own accord without the Iranians even telling them to do so. It's bad all the way around in terms of risk, right? So the whys are huge. The State Department told all the Americans in that region to get the hell out and get home, but they provided absolutely no
I was going to say how. Yeah.
There's no how.
There isn't.
There's a claim that they are sending military jets and charter flights and all this other kind of stuff, but it's very difficult to coordinate a lot of that. I have been in touch with a few friends who have family in the Gulf, and they are all just sort of sitting very still and trying to distract themselves some other way, binging Netflix or whatever. Like, they just can't. The bombs are falling. The explosions are happening around them all the time. They can't leave. The airspaces are closed. People don't know maybe that Doha is one of the largest airports, if not the largest airport in the world in terms of total passenger traffic through there. That is shut down. That's not just a problem for people in that region. That's a problem worldwide for the whole international air travel system. So there's no way out. There's no way in. If you need to get there to help anybody, there's no safe place anywhere. And this all does seem to be a little like, huh? Like, why now? What is the immediate thing that made this have to happen now? Could be a lot of things. It could be, a critical mass of equipment got built up, and once you're there, you can't not use it because you look kind of feckless and weak if you do that. It could be that the intelligence said that something was about to happen and that the military needed to respond to get out ahead of it. It could be that the Epstein files are about to come out and somebody's going to leak them. Could also be, I would bet dollars to donuts that the Iranians have some of that information. And
compromat.
Yeah, I mean, call it what you want. They might have it. I don't know what. I mean, open it up to the group here. Any real reason to precipitate this?
There's another thing. We could have finally achieved in our military a critical mass of Christian nationalists anxious for the second coming.
That is very possible.
Do I have evidence of that? Actually, I do. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Pete Hegseth gave a speech about it.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, all of that can be right. I think that it is fair to say that one of the biggest or one of the riskiest groups operating in the United States right now are white evangelicals in the U.S. They are more dangerous than any Iranian sleeper cell because
in senior positions in the military,
in military and government, in society, all over. They have a plan for that, right?
Those who work forces. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. And they don't just burn crosses. They now apparently burn minarets. There is a thing where the evangelicals have determined that their path to whatever it is they're after involves placing people in important parts of society and working hard to achieve that. In sports, that's a big one that they've already really basically cornered. In entertainment and in government and in civil society and all of this stuff. There is this whole playbook that they have been working on for decades now. And Alec, you might be right. This might be them shooting their shot. I don't know. It's invariably going to drag everybody into it. There's the question of boots on the ground. I don't hear anybody ruling that out. You know,
I mean, when you have 50,000 personnel there, it almost is kind of like seems like that would happen.
Well, in developments today is that the Trump people are trying to goad the Kurds into doing this
I
for
saw
them.
and saying to give them air cover.
You know, if you've learned anything from watching that region, it's that the Kurds want very much to be left the fuck alone.
Right.
And they're not even interested in having their own countries anymore. That's too much effort. They just want autonomy in their region and to be left the fuck alone. And I mean, they're gonna
argue it, right?
Yeah, I mean, what are they gonna do? They're gonna play both sides of the fence to keep the Americans happy for as long as they can. Sure, maybe we'll get involved, and they'll kind of like do it a little around the edges. Whatever they did to get us to leave them alone in Iraq, they're gonna do it over there too.
Right.
It's crazy. Okay, now you got the economic impact of this, right? 20% of the world's oil and gas moves through the Straits of Hormuz. It's right there. That is shut down. So a fifth of all of the energy, fossil fuel energy that the world uses is not happening right now. And nearly all of the gas, okay, a lot of the natural gas, liquefied natural gas, comes from the Gulf Arab states, whether that's UAE, Bahrain, and all that. That is shut down, which has a lot of knock-on effects. Most of that stuff mostly travels east towards India and China and Southeast Asia. Those are big industrial parts of the world. They're very dependent on a lot of this energy. If they don't have it, or if the prices shoot way up, what's that going to do? It can destabilize all of those places. The United States is a big producer of natural gas, a big producer, not so much of liquefied natural gas, but we do have that capacity. That's going to drive a big rush back into the fracking. So stay tuned for more Flaming Faucets. Great name for a band, by the way, Alec.
That is a good name.
I'm on it.
Okay. And yeah, they need a harp player. Call me. And then that's going to put pressure on American industry. That's going to change the way that we're doing things. It's going to change the cost of energy. We've already seen gas prices go up. It's just every possible thing. And it really reminds me very much of the Iraq war, right? It has a lot of that same feel to it. There's no clear reason why, or there's no believable reason why. They're telling us a story. They're saying, just trust us. We know that we needed to do this. There's no definable goal of where this ends or what victory looks like. There doesn't seem to be a lot of world support for what the American military is currently doing. There doesn't seem to be a clear enemy either. It could kind of go a lot of ways from here. The only big difference is there is no congressional authorization for use of force at all.
Nor will there be.
Congress declares war?
Article 1. Huh? Somebody needs to do something. They tried.
What?
Yeah. Rand Paul and Timmy Kaine, they tried their best. They're like, hey, how about a war powers resolution? They wanted to even grant power. They wanted to authorize the use of force, right? And they couldn't get that on paper because the Republicans wouldn't support it. And feckless Fetterman. But that's about the only difference. And I feel like the authorization for use of force that was used on Iraq was tenuous at best, but they still stretched to the breaking point. And it was based on a lie. So everybody that did vote for it has regretted it, and they're like, we were lied to. Am I the only one that feels like that? It does feel very similar.
No, I would agree. Yeah, I think even with like the Iraq war, it was more like you kind of wrap that into 9/11 and then going into Afghanistan. So even like you had that. This again, there's really there's no plausible reason for like to doing this right now. Like especially after last year in June, like initially attack like it to most rational people, I think most rational Americans, they're like, well, why are we doing this? And as we know, that base is not really behind this at all. So I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, the
So
right wing podcasters are going nuts.
yeah, so
yeah,
let's talk about that. How is MAGA handling what's going on? I'm going to read you this bit here from the paper, just to sort of set the scene. And I'm hoping that both of you have interrogated this world enough to provide a little bit of context. But as Trump directs military strikes in Iran, he's also fighting online attacks at home from some of the loudest voices in the MAGA political movement. Quote, "This is Israel's war. This is not the US's war," said Tucker Carlson. "No one should have to die for a foreign country," said Megyn Kelly. Daily Wire podcaster Matt Walsh, that genius, added in that he can't take the gaslighting. He really can't. I don't know. That's an incredible statement coming from him. MAGA critics of Trump's new military conflict say that they're struggling to reconcile it with his, quote, America First principles and a long record of criticizing costly and protracted American military interventions. The president has said operations against Iran could go on 4 to 5 weeks or longer. He even said that we had enough munitions to go on forever after being so critical of what he called forever wars. I think to them it feels legitimately like a betrayal of a fundamental tenet of Trumpism, said Matt Dallek, professor at George Washington. And so then, somebody asked Trump, like, what is this? And Trump said, I am MAGA. Trump is MAGA.
yeah, right.
And that there is no real ethos here. It's just whatever he wants. Trump claimed that he alone spoke for MAGA after whoever this guy, Bade, asked him about the rebellion in the ranks of his supporters. According to a post that she published late Monday, quote, "MAGA wants to see our country thrive and be safe, and MAGA loves what I'm doing, every aspect of it," he said. That's what Trump said. And he said President Trump is MAGA and MAGA is President Trump. That's what he says. All right, so what's going on in the MAGAverse in response to this?
Well, I think there's a realization that Trump provides or the Trump administration provide a on the surface palatable reasoning for something that they're going to do, something that in their minds at least is going to be acceptable, and then they just go way further than that. We want money for DHS to hire a whole bunch of people to get the worst criminals, illegal immigrants that are criminals out of the country. Then once they've got that, they do whatever they want to. We want to just make sure there's no fraud in voting, and then now they want to nationalize all elections. So it's just one little thing. It's like, give them an inch, they take a mile. It's kind of like that. And this is my worry. And I think the right-wing podcasters are starting to see this and going, okay, we're doing this thing in Iran. Didn't we do something like that in Iraq and Afghanistan? That's not that long ago.
No, okay. I think you're being very
there's
generous.
There's a lot of people in their 20s right now, or late teens, 20s, whose parents fought in Iran and Afghanistan. I mean,
Iraq and
I said Iraq.
See?
Yeah, I said the wrong word. I went in the other
quoted Mark
direction.
Twain. You did a misspoke.
But so I mean, there's people that recognize that, and they see that, and as well as people in their 30s who lost parents in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I mean, you showed us the globe a little bit earlier. Afghanistan's on one side and Iraq is on the other.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're
true.
right there in that section of the world. And I don't blame anybody for thinking this is being used as a well, I wouldn't say it's being used as a precursor. I would say it's just not thought out. And I don't think the Iraq war or the Afghanistan war was thought out.
No, there
Those
was
weren't
no
even called
clearly
wars.
defined end to either of those, and
Right. And that did not end well.
it for nobody.
And I don't, I think the same thing's going to be happening here, or I fear the same thing's going to be happening here. And it's kind of obvious if you, to me. And so these right-wing podcasters are very focused on their audience.
Do you think? You're giving them a lot of credit here in that that the initial attack itself would be palatable to them at all? Do you
No,
think?
I'm not saying that it's palatable to them. I'm saying that the Trump administration thinks it will be palatable.
I understand. Okay. Yeah.
Because
Ted, you have
they
a
are
thought on
not
that?
very self-aware.
No, I don't think
They completely
seem-
surround themselves with with what was it, One American Network, and Fox News is too liberal for them now.
Yeah, they're having a hard time pushing themselves into knots to say they support Trump but don't want to fight this war. What have you detected out there, Tez?
I just think, I mean, how much more can they? And I know you think it's endless, but right, a lot of the platform, some of the platform that he ran on was like something like lowering egg prices, which obviously,
right,
he's clearly the anti that. But right, releasing the Epstein files, holding people to account for that. That's a big part of his movement, right? And obviously leaning more to the conspiratorial part of that. But even with every conspiracy, there's a kernel of truth, and we have seen what the kernel of truth, and bigger than a kernel of truth, has been with that, right? I think the second piece here is this America first, right? This whole, it's in the slogan, right? Make America great again, right? By nature, you would say he's a populist, right? And he's ran as that. And people have bought into that. They believe in that. And they're like, all right, we want you to focus in on America. And this is completely the opposite of that. But I think, and it might not be this. I mean, it can really, a lot of this is speculation. I think we'll probably find out in the history books, right, 20, 30 years from now. But
you think there'll be books?
I know, right? But the other piece is, most presidents in their like final, he's a lame. I was gonna say he's a deadbeat president, but that means he's a deadbeat dad.
Dead dad.
Right. But most presidents in their second term, right, when you are a lame duck at that point, they usually focus to like external things. And I'm wondering if that, like, it does feel like he's in the legacy building part of it.
That, that's why he wants gold medals and Nobel prizes.
Yeah,
Oh, he talks about his legacy all the time.
All the time. The curtains, the 5 minutes about the curtains was all about, oh, these are from my first term,
And he's
Will
done
he go to heaven?
Right.
Yeah,
and
right.
He's done something that no other American president has done.
He's killed the Ayatollah.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
well, he didn't kill Osama bin Laden, and he will never get over that.
Yeah.
Well, right. So there is some big aspect of this whole like need to outdo Obama.
So you would say
right?
Soleimani's killing might be considered trying to get to that, or
yeah.
Yes.
But in terms of the support, in the base here, we're hitting like a many sides of a weird shaped prism, right? Because like with the Epstein stuff, what we talked about before is why that might be one of the things that the base isn't going to go along with him on, because one of the things that the MAGA people, what MAGA people want to do is be racist, Christian nationalists, and awful. And they want like license to do that. And one of the ways that they found to get license to do that is to frame that worldview in terms of we are fighting child predators. And so as long as they're draped in the cloak of fighting child predators, they can say and do anything they want. And they can say, hey, look, I'm trying to stop, child predators. If you question me, you must be supporting that.
Right.
And, it becomes baked into their identity. And when they confront that is not who they're
Oh,
protecting.
yeah, you hear that stuff all the time. Oh, so you were in favor of illegal immigrants voting?
Yes,
Oh, so you're
exactly.
in favor? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so as they're coming to the realization that Trump is Epstein, right? The cognitive dissonance is too much even for them, and they can't mentally gymnastics their way out of this, and they begin to crack on that. And you see it in terms of passing the Transparency Act, Nancy Mace coming around, the subpoena on Bondi, all of these kinds of things, that there's those cracks are starting to form on that. The intervention in Iran might be something sort of similar, because there are a significant part of his constituency, Bannon and those guys, who are not necessarily imperialists. They are okay with imperialism, but they want to do imperialism by checkbook. They want to buy their way into controlling chunks of the world and negotiating with great powers and stuff. And they want to be able to rape and pillage all they want within their sphere, but they don't want to take the risk of it blowing up in their face. I don't even think this whole idea of they want to focus on America and not risk, blood and treasure over. No, what they don't want is a mistake. They don't want a failure that could cost them power. If you get involved in a protracted war in Iran and you end up damaging your support base in the United States and you lose elections, that's a problem, because all of the criminality and behavior that they have done up till now that is reprehensible and totally going to land them under several layers of jail is protected by their power. And if they do something unpopular enough that gets them in trouble, they're going to lose that. So that's what their motivation is. They are not motivated by trying to reduce violence or any of that kind of bullshit. Don't listen to them on that. I think some of them, MTG is a good example.
Yeah.
Right? They're
gonna say.
kind of realizing they've been had.
Yeah.
That Trump lied to them just as much as he lies about everything else. And they don't like it.
And we've been
People
talking for
really
years
do
when this would happen. We've
Yeah.
been asking. We on this show. We
have been asking this every week. When are they going to come? And we've seen it in groups, right? The Latino voters were like, whoa. That's not what you told us, and then we've seen it in Black Trump voters. We've seen it in some of the rural farm voters who, have been fucked by the tariffs. We've seen it in some of the business Trump voters who've been fucked by the tariffs. I think this food stamp thing is going to be a big problem for poor whites. They're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I can't fill out all this paperwork in order to get my food stamps. There is going to be some sort of reckoning, and it's in chunks. This is a one. This is a big one. And these guys, they're not irritated by the bombing Iran. That they're fine with that. Yeah. They're irritated that they got lied to. And in a way that they can't jump out of it. All the other stuff, inflation is not, it's fixed. And then you go your grocery bills are fucked. And they go, well, I can lie about that to other people. I don't have to admit to that. This, they can't lie about. They can't lie about it. It's there. It's happening. And it is part of their identity that they don't do this. And now they are doing this. And now they're in trouble. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm curious to see what happens next. I am curious to see what happens next. But the problem is that's going to cost a lot of lives and destruction. Yeah. And to some extent, this whole thing makes everybody less safe. If America picks fights with countries that we don't need to pick fights with, we're fighting wars of choice instead of wars of protection or just wars, to the extent that there can be such a thing. Yeah. Our standing, our protection in the allies that we have diminishes. If we use up all of our weapons fighting against an enemy that isn't going to go away, we are now vulnerable
Yeah, but that's
to an
Biden's
attack
fault.
from somebody else.
Right.
Yeah, well, we can't ship more bombs to us from China unless they're falling on us.
And my thing is, I mean, I want what if this continues on, let's say a year, right? Let's just say, and I know that sounds crazy. Let's say it continues on a year or longer. And let's just say, God forbid, China decides to invade Taiwan. Like, and is there not a license? And is there not a license to do this now? If America is operating, if America is operating this way, and again, it's not that America is always operated in this like just way, but there was the veneer of like, we're gonna push democracy, and like, no, we don't believe in any of that. We're not going into countries to like stand up democratic systems. Really, we probably want to send up like autocratic systems that bow to.
That's how we usually do pretty well. I mean, there's an old George Carlin bit about this that like we're over there for democracy, and, you know, and while we're giving them some democracy, we're gonna whip a little industry on them. And you know what's the middle two letters of the word industry? That's U.S. How about some U.S. industry? Like that's the whole thing. Is that we topple it, but that's a very World War II mentality.
I don't think that's not the case anymore.
I was listening to the radio and they said that the United States doesn't do a great job at regime change, and they asked this historian, when are some examples of when the United States has successfully engaged in regime change? And 3 things popped up in my mind immediately. And then the guy was like, well, there's only 3 examples. I was like, haha, I got it right. And it turns out I did. What are the 3 examples of the United States successfully executing a regime change that has worked out?
So Iran doesn't count.
No, that did not.
And this is our second try.
This is our second try at that. Yes.
Right.
Could we go with the American Revolution? I mean, we reached
that one wasn't on the list.
I just joking.
3/5 of the time, that's correct. All right, so what are they?
Germany.
Yes, that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Japan.
That's the other one on that side. There's a third one. One that I remember happening. So that narrows it down a little bit. And it involved heavy amounts of rock and roll.
Oh, Panama.
Oh, and I was there too.
Yep, Brian was there. Brian did it. He arrested Noriega. So that's the only times. Every other time it has not worked. Didn't work in Iraq. It didn't work in Afghanistan. It didn't.
There was the Duchy of no, it didn't work there either.
Yeah. North Korea is still North Korea. Vietnam is all definitely united under the side that won that war, which wasn't us. We haven't succeeded in doing this anywhere. Philippines, we blew it twice. It's not a core competency of the United States. So we got to stop that shit. And I'm not saying that the Iranian regime is good and should be tolerated, but there's certainly ways to do this that don't involve dropping bombs. And
you would almost say we were on the path in 2015, hopefully, to do that. You would say.
I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and as you say, the history books will say.
Yeah, we'll see.
If you think there will be history books. All right. So let's that's our update. We don't have a good way to make that funny. I don't have a way to make it. It's not, there's no funny here.
Not funny.
It's not funny. Stay tuned, pay attention. Be very cautious about what you read. You know, we say it on the show all the time, but this is a time to stick to the big guys. All right. Read the New York Times, read, BBC, or, look at BBC, look at New York Times, look at Al Jazeera, NPR, the big guys, NBC, don't be onto this little, I heard on Twitter. No, you didn't. Don't do that at all. It's all fake. It's so easily manipulated.
I saw a meme.
Yeah, right. I saw a meme that said, right. I saw a meme that said that Liverpool lost to Wolves, and then it turned out that was true.
Yeah, look.
I thought that was fake news, but no, that did happen.
Soon memes are going to win Murrow Awards, so,
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
J. Scott Smith, we're really sorry to insult your Murrow Awards thusly. That was Tez who did that. That was not me.
That one.
Please come back on the show and take take his spot.
Well, look
Uh-oh.
at that.
We got a call. Click.
Hello.
Favorite Canadian here, Roger Mooking. Congratulations on 11 years. I must say, I've been on your show several times, and it's always a great time. But I think your best episodes are the ones that I'm on.
All right.
There was certainly that one.
Mad love, y'all. Mad love. Congrats on your 11. Here's to 111 more. If you could outpace the apocalypse. Boom! Have a good day.
Thanks, Raj.
Thank you, Roger.
We really definitely need that place to hide up there in Canada. But yeah, well, look at that. We're getting calls from all over the place.
Calls. Yeah, international call right there, man.
Yeah. We don't know where he's calling from. He didn't say, but
He didn't, but I mean, he's
But
an
he is
international
Canadian.
man. I mean,
He is
and
an
he just
international
travels the
guy.
world. It might
Yeah,
not
he
be
does.
Canada. Yeah, it could be anywhere in the world.
that is correct. All right, well, that was cool. All right, let's call that a break and let's go talk about the elections. Now we can get back to some funny stuff.
Yay!
So Texas, you know Texas is a place?
Yeah, I do. It's
Yeah.
Mexico.
It's in Mexico. Yeah.
I made the mistake of messing with them once.
Yeah. What
Wow.
happened?
Let me just say, don't mess with Texas.
That's right.
I'll just leave it at that.
Away. I think the biggest threat Texas has is leaving. And you know, I'd love to call them on that, on conditions that they take the Cowboys with them. I'm just saying. Leave Austin. We'll keep that one. So, yeah, speaking of Texas, right? You know that there were primaries there.
There were primaries,
Just
yep.
this last week,
Tuesday, right.
voting ended. That's another thing to be aware of, right? That voting doesn't just always happen on one day. There's all the
Right.
voting that leads up to that. So let's talk about the Republican side briefly. There were three candidates running. One is John Cornyn, who is the incumbent senator there from Texas. He has been senator from Texas since Davy Crockett arrived there and tried to steal it from the Mexicans.
Not Jasmine Crockett, Davy Crockett.
That's right, Davy Crockett, the real Texas Crockett from Kentucky. And like all white things in Texas, he's not from there.
Right.
And so just like Ted Cruz. So John Cornyn is the current senator there, and he was possibly up for Senate majority leader at one point. He's a real senator kind of guy. He's also, they call him Big John. He's like 6'4", kind of a, you know, big bass voice. He's real Texas, right? Okay. He was running against Kenny Paxton, who is the current attorney general, barely, because he was impeached.
Yeah.
But survived that somehow. And this congressman called Wesley Hunt. Now, Wesley Hunt is a weird thing. He's a black Republican in Texas. There's really no way to describe that apart from using those words in that order. He got like 13% of the vote.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Makes sense.
But it means that Cornyn and Paxton, neither one got a majority. So now that's a great picture.
That is such a
by the
good
way.
picture. Good
That's-
job, Brian.
Ken Paxton seen here explaining, well, actually, I left her. You may know Ken Paxton because he has been indicted by the Securities and Exchange Commission. He has been indicted by the federal, by the FBI, or DOJ, I should say. He has been impeached by the Texas House within minutes of winning his re-election bid, which he only barely won. He is no longer married to his wife, Angela, who is a state senator, because she divorced him on, quote, biblical grounds. He faced a lawsuit that we covered on this show where his staff all sued the absolute bejesus out of him for harassment. He raped at least two of them, according to their affidavits. The guy is a show.
Yeah.
And he does it all while just like throwing all these lawsuits at everybody. Trump loves him, loves the guy.
Yeah.
Trump did not endorse in this race, but he said he's going to endorse in the runoff. So my money's on him going for Paxton. What do you think?
Hands down. Yeah.
He doesn't like Cornyn, even though Cornyn went to great lengths to explain how much he votes with Trump and how much he supports Trump and all of this stuff. The fact that he is not interested in, I don't know what kind of like shenanigan. Like, I've never heard of John Cornyn involved in a scandal, for example. Like, I don't think he scandals.
Interesting to note the totals for that graphic that you had up before.
Yes.
It's about 1.3 million.
Yep. Totals in the Democratic primary, about 2.1 million.
Interesting. I'm not really good at math.
No, neither is anybody in Texas.
2.1 million more than 1.3 million?
It would appear that way.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting.
That is very interesting.
Now let's talk over on the Democratic side of that Senate race. So that got down to James Tallarico, who is the state assembly representative from the Austin area, versus everybody's favorite lawyer turned congresswoman turned song lyric generator, Jasmine Crockett. And they faced off in a primary in which they had absolutely no difference in policy whatsoever. They are in lockstep. I don't think anybody was able to articulate a single difference between them policy-wise.
I think the difference was if you were to list out their priorities, like 1 through 10.
Yeah.
Like 5 and 3 might be swapped.
I was
it's that kind of thing.
It's so far down the list. So the real issue had to do with style and methods, right? Tallarico is a very calm.
No, it's not about style.
I'm sorry. Brian knows. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
It's about the tone, meaning the skin tone.
The
really
skin
was all
tone,
about.
not the tone of conversation.
No. Let's be honest here.
I don't think that can be ignored.
Yeah.
And Jasmine's a woman also.
Yeah,
that too.
I don't know if that's everything, but you can't ignore that.
I was setting up that joke.
Sorry.
They stepped on you. They stepped on you.
You guys are the worst.
I was just like, it's over with. They already
comedy radio show, and you fucking blew it. All right, yeah. The state wanted to vote for the white guy instead of the black woman. The loud black woman who wears stylish clothes and gets her nails done and then like calls Marge names. There you go. Yeah, her. Now look, Tallarico won. He won in and we're going to talk about what happened in Dallas separately because that bears discussing. Tallarico won with a lot of support in the Rio Grande Valley. He did very well with Latino voters in Texas, which was basically the voting bloc that was up for grabs between Democrats and Republicans. They voted strongly Republican in the last election. Then they seemed to be pretty dissatisfied with what they got, as if, I don't know, some smart lady in a pantsuit could have warned them. And so, but they also voted against this other smart lady in the pantsuit. So they decided Tallarico won. The party seems to be kind of okay with this because they think that he has maybe a better shot of ultimately winning statewide in the general election. I'm not sure that is true one way or the other. I think, again, it shows the Democratic Party's arrogance and dependence on black voters to ultimately do the right thing, even if it isn't their choice. Right. It's sort of making this case that, all right, Houston, you know what you got to do, right? You don't want to not do this. You don't want to give it back to them, do you? And then, all the black voters in Houston are going to be like, we wanted her, but I mean, yeah, sure. The alternative is worse. So we'll do the thing.
Yeah. I wonder though. I mean, I pray that happens, but there's a palpable anger. And I mean, granted, by the time we get to November, maybe that
it's a rock and a hard place. You can't vote that hard against your own interests to make a point. I mean, maybe you can. I mean, we did see that.
You can sit it out. Yeah.
We did see that in some places. So
that's
the other things that are worth discussing, Tony Gonzalez, like we mentioned. So Congressman Tony Gonzalez had a flaming relationship with one of his staff members. That joke was dead on arrival. It's not good.
That's not good.
Bruh. Yeah.
You're going to ignite some controversy here.
Oh man.
See, I'm not the only one. Not the only one.
You flaming liberals.
See? So old Tony had an affair. He's now admitted to the affair with his staff. Basically, he coerced her into this relationship, and then he kicked her to the curb, and she killed herself by lighting herself on fire in front of her family, which was great. The Republican Party has now come down on him. He won his primary. He got through. So like while this scandal was like brewing, right? He beats this guy called Brandon Herrera.
Yeah.
Who is a firearms manufacturer known as, quote, the AK guy on YouTube with 4 million followers.
How did he lose?
I don't know, man. That's the thing, right? He's in Texas. He should have been granted an automatic weapon. Anyway, so Gonzalez wins, and then now the party is on him to drop out entirely. I don't know what they think they're going to do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he can probably win. Right?
Yeah.
You know, if your problem
Shane
in
is
Texas,
dead. Oh God, sorry. Wow, sorry.
That wasn't her name, Tez.
No.
But no, of course, right? They're immune to shame. That's kind of like their brand as Republicans. And like the fact that he mistreated a woman and she killed herself is probably like a positive to them in a lot of cases. You know, and like what's the, you know, what I don't know what if he won with that, he's gonna win. He's gonna win his race, right? Why would they tell him to drop out? Is it tarnishing their brand at all?
No.
No.
You know, pretty plain and simple. It's not tarnishing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just how they do things now. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's talk about what happened in Dallas, though, because I think this bears some discussion. As I am convinced that elections are not likely in November, I think that there's going to be a lot of malfeasance going on. And I think that what we saw happening in Dallas is a good example of the thing to be paying attention to. So here's some background information that people need to know. In Texas, when there is a not dual primary, right? If they're going to have like open primary, you can vote anywhere in your county. As long as you're in the correct county, doesn't matter what precinct you're in or any of that, you just show up at the polling place. Okay. That's how it mostly goes. This time around, the Republicans decided to have their own closed primary, which by rule necessitates that everybody goes and votes in their individual precincts. That wasn't well communicated to a lot of people, and those precincts had just been redrawn since November when the last time that everybody voted. So there was a bit of confusion. Voters in Dallas and the county next to Dallas County, there's Dallas County and Williamson County. They got confused in many cases about where they were supposed to vote. They showed up at where they had voted in November. It wasn't the right place. They couldn't find where they were supposed to go. The phone lines and the websites weren't doing a good job making this clear. And so they went to court, right? This is what happens in most elections. And the judge initially said, all right, everybody can we're going to extend the polling hours, 2 more hours to give everybody a chance to get to vote. As long as you're in line by that time, then you're going to be okay. Then it got appealed by Ken Paxton, of all people, working as the Republican Attorney General to stop that voting whatsoever. And basically the appeal won out. They said that those votes that had happened after the expansion of the poll hours needed to be sectioned off and maybe counted separately if there was going to be, depending on what the final ruling was. Altogether, this didn't really change the outcome of the election at all. But it is the kind of confusion that should that sort of thing happen again and Republicans lose, they will claim that that is an example of some sort of voting irregularity.
Right.
So
or
that
an excuse to have DHS at polling places.
Exactly. That is what they just did here.
Or
so
not to certify the election. Right.
Exactly.
Or seat the members in Congress.
That's exactly right. So Paxton knew good goddamn well what he was doing. The whole purpose of what he did was to sow confusion. Confusion is license for them to do a bunch of crazy shit. And importantly, when they lose, confusion gives them the smokescreen to say that they in fact won. And if they can say that they did in fact win, then any and all means are acceptable, up to and including violence, which is what we saw on January 6th. I believe we will see them use that same playbook over and over. So watch this runoff election that's going to happen in just a few weeks in Texas. If Paxton loses, he is going to claim some sort of voter irregularity, and he is going to try to see if he can get some violence out of it. I'm almost sure of it. Now, it's possible that the governor could stand up to those kinds of, oh, wait, nope, never mind. You know what? I'm going to wheel that one back.
Oh, God.
He's not going to do that. He could ramp up to something, but I don't think he's going to.
I don't know. It's a position that I don't think has legs to stand on.
Yeah.
See? It's fun, isn't it? Come on, Tez, do one.
No, continue on. No.
No? You don't feel like that's above your handicap?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's brutal.
No?
That's brutal.
All right. Let's talk about the schwank. All right, last week we talked about Mr. Schwank. Yes.
Ryan
Schwank. Now, Ryan Schwank is a hero. Why is Ryan Schwank a hero?
Because he's been snitching about what's been happening at Homeland Security and specifically at ICE.
That's right. Also, his name is Ryan Schwank.
Yeah.
If you ever meet Ryan Schwank, buy him a beer.
Yeah, least you can do.
He needs one because his name is Ryan Schwank. Also, Alec, great name for a band.
Ryan Schwank?
Yeah. You don't have to explain why. You just be like, we're Ryan Schwank and we're here to rock. You know,
all right.
And then bam. I think you know what? I think Ryan Schwank is one of those guitar and drum duos like the White Stripes, but louder and with more distortion. That's how I envision Ryan Schwank. I don't know what kind of music to play yet, but okay. So Schwank told everybody in this hearing that DHS and specifically ICE was not training their officers. Now, one of the things we learned from Kristi Noem is that if you've got a puppy that is untrained, you should shoot it. And here we have a bunch of ICE agents who are untrained.
Please, there are dogs listening to this episode.
Yeah, Alec, we're sorry. We didn't mean to traumatize your puppy.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah, I keep bringing her up. I'm sorry.
And I'll keep shooting you down.
You're barking up the wrong tree there, Hoss.
Oh, God.
All right, so former ICE instructor Ryan Schwank testified during the congressional hearing last week that DHS had denied any reduction in training, right? And then it turned out that everybody went and got the records of it. Documents offer new insight into how and when the training program was reduced. The vast majority of the cuts occurred in August. The records show as the Trump administration pushed ICE to double the numbers of officers in the field by the end of 2025. Initial cuts estimated or eliminated more than 100 hours dedicated to hands-on instruction and practice scenarios, including half of the 56 hours once spent on firearms training. Here's your gun. Enjoy.
Go kill some American citizens.
Yeah. Oh, it turns out they shot another one that we only found out about today, 11 months ago. Because, I guess he was a puppy. I don't know.
Please stop it. Stop. It was funny when they. Anyway.
It's still funny.
Yeah,
sorry, puppy.
Traumatizing, exactly.
Cover the puppy's ears.
His
We
ears.
don't want.
Yes, this is great. All right. It's insane to do this with the dogs.
The previously undisclosed records obtained by the Washington Post show that Schwenk was correct that ICE last year removed about 240 hours from its basic training program, or more than 40% of the instruction time. 40%. You imagine if you just skipped 40% of school?
Oh my God, I did.
I was going to say, how stupid would you be? But people listen to this show.
They listen to this show.
So they've got an example to follow.
Kind of how that goes.
As of January 1st, records show that more than 900 ICE officers had completed a shortened version of basic training and were destined for field offices across the country. That is more than 3 times the total number of graduates the 12 months before August, when the program was first cut. So the agency eliminated time for driving tests and cut all 26 hours previously allotted for evaluating recruits' grasp of skills specific to immigration enforcement and deportation. So they don't even test them anymore. They also skipped all their Spanish language training. They said that there's no more of that. Their response.
Why would you need that?
Why would you need that? The response is ridiculous. Quote, ICE officers go through a rigorous on-the-job training and mentorship, the agency said in a statement. It said that new officers take what they learn at the academy and apply it to real-life scenarios while on duty. That's a good time to do that. Preserving ICE's reputation as one of the most elite law enforcement agencies, not only in the U.S., but in the entire world. That's an incredible statement for a bunch of guys that slip on the ice, get lost chasing donuts, and fucking shoot themselves in the leg, pulling their guns out of their
around the world.
Around the world.
So they're basically at the same level as, let's say, the brown shirts. Or okay.
They've got examples to follow. Although I would imagine the brown shirts were disciplined enough not to shoot themselves in the leg.
Yeah.
And the Stasi and okay.
Yeah. It's interesting. Also, if you go far enough down this article, you find out why the firearms training is now done exclusively by Plaxico Burress. That was a great joke 10 years ago. I think 10, 15 years ago.
Maybe
Might have been longer than that.
Maybe, yeah.
Shut up. Okay. Records obtained by the Post include 4 training program outlines dated between July 2025 and January 2026 that break down the hours allocated to instructional topics. The records also track student outcome and the time at the academy. They reveal a steep decline in the graduation rate of DHS as DHS ramped up recruitment, part of Trump's goal to double the number of ICE officers to 20,000 and deport an unprecedented 1 million people. So they not only did they cut the training, but they also stopped testing them and just letting everybody through, even if they didn't pass.
Are you telling me that there are fat, out of shape? Never mind.
You know what?
That's the National Guard.
Oh, just the Texas ones.
It's the Texas ones.
Yeah, a whole episode called Fat Guardsmen from Texas.
I like brisket too.
Yeah, me too. Hey, look.
Hey, can I do a callback?
Yes.
Yes.
The opponent for Gonzalez, the one who we beat in the primary.
Yes.
A guy named Herrera.
Brandon Herrera.
Yeah.
The AK guy.
I just want to read a quote from him.
Okay.
And you fill in the context.
Uh-oh.
I am not, nor have I ever been, a neo-Nazi.
Common.
Well,
thing
I believe
to
him.
say.
I believe him clearly. Yeah.
He's also been a member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans for over a decade.
His last name's Herrera, right? Pretty common. It's like right
so
up there with
so he is not
Beauregard.
a Nazi and he is not a Klansman. Do
He is
not
not.
call him that.
Don't call him that. Well, he lost,
but he is a
so I guess-
Confederate.
He lost to a he lost to a sexual predator.
He lost to a sexual predator, possibly murderer.
I don't want to get sued.
Adjacent.
Yeah.
Adjacent.
Adjacent, right.
Adjacent.
Adjacent.
Murder adjacent.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Anyway, I just found that interesting.
It's interesting.
The
You know,
best
I
people.
often have to explain to
Best
people.
people.
Yeah, I find myself frequently uncontextualized explaining to people that I am also not several bad things.
Yeah, I have never had to explain to anybody that I am not a Nazi,
Yeah.
that I am
I
not
don't-
a rapist. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had to explain that to anybody.
Nope,
It's
nope.
pretty common though, right? Most people walk around explaining all the things that they aren't all the time.
Yeah.
We're the outliers.
Some people think I'm a fan of the Dave Matthews Band. I don't know how that got.
You might need to dispel that rumor.
It's a rumor.
yeah.
quickly,
Well,
quickly.
would you like a good 30 seconds to explain to everybody why you are not?
I am not, nor have I ever been, a fan of the Dave Matthews Band.
You heard it here first.
Okay.
Okay. You just want to clear that up.
Just wanted to make sure that
Clear.
that's known.
Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. You can be a fan of Dave Matthews.
Yes. And be a wonderful person.
Yeah. I might even like tolerate your existence and maybe marry you. Right? But you don't have but I not a fan of Dave.
It's only us
I was-
listening.
I was trying to explain to my kids like that 90s jangle rock era and like
Yeah.
they're like, why did this happen? And I was like, I don't know, but here's this list of bands that are totally indistinguishable from each other. From Dave to Hootie to Sister Hazel to like, I mean, it's Matchbox, whatever the fuck. It's this huge list and they're all the same. I can't tell them apart. It's easy to play.
Toad the Wet Blowfish.
Yes, right. The gin blossoms of what's the other hazels? There you go. I don't. Okay. Let's talk about Pam Bondi. I'm sorry, Bondi.
Bondi.
Yeah, she is she's Attorney General? Is that right? Am I reading this right?
For now. No, I'm joking.
What's she gonna be doing next week?
You're testifying about something I thought she had already released to everybody. She had a big binder
Whoa!
outside of
Brian!
Yikes.
Brian! You
Yikes.
have got to warn us before you do something like that.
Gee.
That just popped
Yeah,
up on my screen as it did to everybody else watching.
All four of us.
Well, I don't know about anybody else, but like for this podcast, I came prepared with a burn book.
Okay.
I haven't had to use it yet, but I'm ready.
Do you want to throw a few roasts out
No.
there? No. Okay. Noted congressional Smurf Jared Moskowitz was had a good time with that the last time she was there. So yeah, she's got to come testify because of all people, Nancy Mace was like, "Hey, you're not doing the thing on the Epstein files." Now, Nancy Mace, interestingly enough, under ethics investigation this week as well.
Yeah.
That was in the show, but it didn't make it because it was too small potatoes because she's only being investigated for several tens of thousands of dollars of mismanagement of money, whereas Kristi Noem ran off with $200 million of taxpayer money. So, Butterface Nancy Mace is having a great week. Is that in your burn book? Jim Comer had to relent and let this subpoena go through because he got outvoted, even though he's trying like hell to protect Trump. Now, what do you think Bondi's going to say when she shows up for this subpoena? If she shows up, do you think she's going to show?
I mean, it's weird because usually she shows to basically put on for an audience of one, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Does that happen here? It's going to look real weird, I think. I mean, I don't know if she has that same type of outburst that she had last time.
What's to stop her? I think she shows up. I think she shows up and harangues them and go, "What the fuck did you bring me in here for?" And just yells at them.
I mean, yeah, she's doing it for an audience of one. Yeah, it is to get picked up by Donald Trump when he's sitting in.
She's gonna bring Kash Patel with her.
Oh God,
he's gonna be like chugging beer.
So
like, yeah, what now? And then they're gonna be like, "We're over here," because he can't see.
I can't even. Yeah, we can't even
His
do it.
eyes are crossed all the time.
Look, I'm not. I don't know if it's a disability. I'm not trying to offend, but I do think if you're part of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, you need to investigate things. I don't know, man. I think your eyes should be straight.
How you look through the magnifying glass?
Yeah.
You don't know which. I mean, how you investigate?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There might be another job, but I don't know if the head of the FBI is.
Hey, don't kink shame.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. There are some people. Like
that was from my burn book
that are into that. Yes. I think we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. No, I'm not proud of that. All right, so yeah, I think she shows. I think she shows and throws bombs, and I think that she has a great time doing it. And then she goes back to wherever they go to, Mar-a-Lago. Is that where they all come from?
I think
and then has a kegger with Hegseth.
It's crazy that vote was 24-19 because that's similar to. Never mind.
A little too old.
That's too old. Sorry.
That's right. Never mind. Now, if it had been 13-15.
Yeah. That would be.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay. The last thing, this one is the story of how absolutely stupid this DOJ is. You know what the auto pen is?
It's a picture hanging in the White House. Well,
that
no,
is
well,
correct.
Well, yeah.
There is a picture of it hanging in the White House. Do you know what it actually is?
A fake story.
It's a device that presidents have used for quite some time.
Something like 100 years.
To speed things up a little bit.
Yes.
And it has been ruled by I believe the Supreme Court to be
times.
perfectly legal and legitimate and nothing to see here.
That is correct. Yeah. So for whatever reason in America, we can't let presidents use stamps for their signatures. It has to involve a moving pen, I guess, which is itself ridiculous. And I guess nobody's heard of DocuSign, but whatever.
Right. You're right.
What fucking year is it? So one of the things that the Trump people are convinced of is that Joe Biden was not really president while he was president, and that somebody else, a group of people, were kind of running the country while he was too old and doddering and had a thing growing on his neck and maybe talking about drapes to focus on presidenting. Yeah. And so they think that what happened was that group of people ran the thing and then they used his auto pen, which is programmed to sign his signature, to just sign stuff that they did, like laws or executive orders or proclamations or all kinds of other things.
Or pardons.
There is precious little evidence to back this up, but does not matter because the Department of Justice dispatched their top investigators, the ones that could see, to go figure this out and bring charges against Joe Biden and all of his people who were hiding in the basement with him or whatever the fuck. What happened?
case was it dismissed?
Didn't even come up.
Didn't even make it up there, right?
Yeah. So the prosecutors couldn't find anything to even lie and make a case about. The department's failure to build a criminal case against Mr. Biden and his aides is the latest example of its increasing inability to follow through on Mr. Trump's demands and bring indictments against those that he wants criminally targeted, which of course includes like Jim Comey, Tish James, and all of this stuff, Jerome Powell. He makes no ground. Here's my favorite part. The AutoPen investigation was led by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C., which is run by Jeanine Pirro. Yeah. Her, the lawyer. The inquiry was quietly shelved in recent months around the time that prosecutors under Pirro sought and failed to secure an indictment in a different case, one against the 6 Democratic lawmakers who posted the video telling everybody there they couldn't even get a single grand juror. Not one out of the 25.
Like not just failed to get an indictment, failed to get a juror.
Failed to get a single vote. Yeah.
Which I heard is unprecedented. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm not even a real lawyer, and I'm sure I could convince at least 1 out of 25 people to go along with whatever it is I'm up to. But
I mean, remember the infamous ham sandwich case.
Yes, but remember that the ham sandwich beat the charge.
You did?
Yeah.
Yes.
So as they say, you can't indict a ham sandwich unless you're the Trump DOJ.
I just remember Jeanine Pirro on TV or something going, well, he thought he could assault DHS agents. Well, he's about to get locked up for a long time.
That was the sandwich gate.
For the sandwich.
Yeah.
For a ham sandwich.
Salami sandwich.
My apologies. Yes.
It was salami sandwich, but the quote is you can indict a ham sandwich.
Well, I believe the other quote from the DHS agent that was impacted, shall we say, was you could smell the onions. You could smell the vinegar.
Yeah, that's right. It was the mustard. He was objecting.
Famous words.
He had some on
famous words.
Bulletproof, whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah. So, you can indict a ham sandwich unless you can't.
Yeah. Right. Or she just can't find a case that cuts the mustard.
Oh.
There we go.
That was cheesy.
Oh my God. The Lord. Yeah.
All right, you hear the music? That means we come to the end of the show. We want to say thank you to Alec for hanging out with us.
Yes,
thank you, Alec. We really appreciate that. Thank you to our radio partners, Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, Lauren Bobert, and Nancy Mace. Yep. Thanks to NOTN for keeping us on for another week, maybe. Don't know. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, coplaymedia.com. And thanks, as always, to our family here at Beltway and Rip Radio for making us sound as smooth as Congressman Dan Crenshaw's eye patch. All right, where can everybody get you on the social medias? Alec?
What's that?
Where can they get you on the socials?
Rocksplosion. Everything's under Rocksplosion.
There you go.
On as many platforms as I've been able to put stuff up.
Sometimes he even just puts things on telephone poles with a stapler. All right, where can everybody? Yeah, that's how we used to do it. All right, Tez, where can they find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at DC Cortez.
All right, and you can find me and the show on the Twitter at ChipChatRR. You can find us on the Facebook or the Instagrams at RipChipChat. And you can, of course, find me on Blue Sky at my old Twitter handle at Chef Chip. And you can find us every Thursday night at 9:30-ish here on Beltway Radio. I'm Chip. That's Tez. Alex there. Brian's in the background causing trouble. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweet.
Street balls.
another chapter in history, another verse. Trump promises political violence, but no hearse. FTG and Shapiro try to rap, but don't rehearse. These right-wing nuts can't get any better, just worse. Tez and Chip out here trying to save the republic like Tez on the golf course. It ain't private, just public. When we have a drink in the bar, it's not beer, it's a public. It's hard to get something to rhyme with this subject. If we get famous, we can give a shout out to Brian. To get us out on time is what he be trying. The show is like a custom feathered avian that knows words. How can we stay late when our guest is Illy Bird? In conclusion, the message is to go out and serve folks, whether that's through art, music, or if you just tell jokes. Seek to medicate your ears, hope you eradicate your fears. Thanks for sticking with us through all these years.